Imagine a world transforming from the ashes of the old monarchies into the dawn of the modern era. This is the world in which Napoleon Bonaparte, a name that would echo through the ages, came to power. It was a time marked by the French Revolution, a period of radical social and political upheaval that shook France, and indeed the world. The old order crumbled, toppled by the collective might of the common people, who dared to challenge the divine right of kings. In the wake of the revolution, the political landscape was in flux, rife with uncertainty, turmoil, and an overwhelming desire for change. A power vacuum had been created, and nature, as we know, abhors a vacuum. The stage was set for someone to rise, someone who could seize the reins and guide France into a new epoch. Into this world of chaos and opportunity, a young Corsican artillery officer named Napoleon Bonaparte would rise to become one of the most influential figures in history. Born in Corsica on August 15, 1769, to a family of minor nobility, Napoleon's journey to greatness was far from predetermined. The second of 8 children, Napoleon Bonaparte was a small, ambitious boy from a relatively obscure family. His father, Carlo Bonaparte, was an attorney who was determined to give his children a better life. He managed to secure a scholarship for Napoleon to study in France's mainland, a place known for its prestige and opportunities. At just 9 years old, Napoleon was sent off to a French military academy in Brienne-le-Château. Far away from home, he was a stranger in a foreign land, struggling with the language and culture. Yet this didn't discourage young Napoleon. Instead, it fueled his ambition. He became fluent in French, excelled in mathematics, and developed a keen interest in history, especially military history. His hard work and dedication paid off when, at the age of 15, he was accepted into the elite École Militaire in Paris. Here, Napoleon's passion for military strategy began to shine. He graduated a year early in 1785, commissioned as a second lieutenant in the artillery. Napoleon's early military career was marked by a mix of opportunities and challenges. The French Revolution, which broke out in 1789, created an upheaval in the military ranks, opening doors for young, ambitious officers like Napoleon. He quickly rose through the ranks, impressing his superiors with his strategic acumen and leadership skills. In 1793, at the young age of 24, Napoleon was given command of the artillery during the siege of Toulon, a pivotal moment in the Revolutionary Wars. His innovative strategies and fearless leadership led to a French victory, effectively removing the British forces from Toulon. This victory was the spark that ignited Napoleon's career, marking him as a rising star in the French military. By the age of 24, Napoleon was already making a name for himself as a capable and ambitious military leader. In 1793, Napoleon's career took a decisive turn. This was the year when he made his mark during the siege of Toulon, a significant event that catapulted him from obscurity to the spotlight. The siege of Toulon was a pivotal moment in the French Revolutionary Wars. The city of Toulon, a significant naval base, had rebelled against the revolutionary government. Royalist sympathizers had invited the British and Spanish fleets to occupy the city, turning it into a stronghold against the Republic. Enter Napoleon Bonaparte, a young artillery officer with an unwavering belief in his abilities and a relentless drive to prove himself. Tasked with the responsibility of capturing the city, Napoleon demonstrated his tactical genius. He proposed an audacious plan to isolate the city from the sea and cut it off from reinforcements. This move would not only weaken the enemy's position but also pave the way for a successful siege. Napoleon's plan was a resounding success. His well-placed artillery overpowered the British and Spanish fleets, forcing them to withdraw and leaving Toulon vulnerable. The city fell shortly afterward, a significant victory for the revolutionary forces. Napoleon's role in the siege of Toulon didn't go unnoticed. His strategic brilliance and relentless dedication caught the attention of the top brass. His reward was a promotion to brigadier general at the tender age of 24, a testament to his extraordinary abilities. This promotion was a significant milestone, marking the beginning of his meteoric rise in the military hierarchy. His achievement at Toulon also earned him widespread recognition. It was a display of his potential as a military leader, an indicator of the great things to come. It was here that Napoleon Bonaparte made his mark, proving that he was not just another officer in the vast revolutionary army but a force to be reckoned with. Napoleon's success in Toulon was a stepping stone to even greater things. It was the launching pad for a career that would change the course of history, setting the stage for his ascension to power and his eventual rule as one of the most influential figures in history. The French Revolution had created a power vacuum that was ripe for exploitation. The stage was set, and a young, ambitious officer saw an opportunity to ascend to power. His name was Napoleon Bonaparte. In the late 1790s, France was a nation in turmoil. The revolutionary government, known as the Directory, was riddled with corruption and inefficiency. It was an unstable period marked by economic hardship and political uncertainty. This chaos provided the perfect backdrop for Napoleon's rise. In 1799, seizing the moment, Napoleon carried out a coup d'état, overthrowing the Directory. The coup, known as the Coup of 18 Brumaire, was a pivotal moment in French history. It marked the end of the French Revolution and the beginning of the Napoleonic era. Napoleon, capitalizing on his popularity and the disillusionment with the Directory, established a new form of government. He became the first consul of France, a position that effectively made him the head of state. His charisma, strategic acumen, and reputation as a military hero had propelled him to the pinnacle of power. As first consul, Napoleon embarked on a series of reforms aimed at stabilizing the country. He modernized the French legal system, introduced financial reforms, and strengthened the country's education system. These measures further consolidated his power and popularity among the French people. Napoleon's rise to power was not just a product of his ambition, but also a reflection of the turbulent times. His ability to seize opportunities, his military successes, and his efforts to restore order in a nation beset by chaos made him an appealing figure to a country in desperate need of stability and leadership. His ascent was swift, his impact profound. Napoleon Bonaparte, once an obscure Corsican officer, had become the most powerful man in France. His rise was as dramatic as it was unprecedented. His era had begun, an era that would leave an indelible mark on French and global history. By the turn of the century, Napoleon had positioned himself as the undisputed leader of France. His path to power was complete, but his journey was far from over. The stage was set for the next chapter in the remarkable saga of Napoleon Bonaparte. As first consul and later emperor, Napoleon set about reshaping France. This was a man whose vision for his country was as grand as his ambition. His leadership style was a blend of authoritarian rule and enlightened reform, a unique mix that would forever change the French landscape. Let's start with the Napoleonic Code. This was a comprehensive legal framework that Napoleon introduced in 1804, replacing the hodgepodge of laws that existed before. The code was a landmark in legal history, establishing principles such as equality before the law and the protection of private property. It was a revolutionary move, one that still influences French law and other legal systems around the world today. But Napoleon wasn't just about law and order. He had a keen interest in education, believing it to be the key to progress and prosperity. He reformed the French education system, introducing a standardized curriculum and establishing schools for the masses. This was a significant departure from the elitist system that existed before, where quality education was a privilege of the wealthy. And then there were the administrative reforms. Napoleon streamlined the French bureaucracy, centralizing power and making it more efficient. He introduced the prefecture system, which divided the country into administrative regions, each overseen by a prefect appointed by the emperor. This system ensured that the central government had a direct hand in local affairs, ensuring uniformity and control. Napoleon's leadership was marked by a desire to modernize and unify. He believed in the power of the state, in the importance of law and order, and in the potential of the people. His reforms were sweeping and far-reaching, touching every aspect of French society. Napoleon's reforms left a lasting impact on France and set a precedent for modern governance. His rule was no doubt autocratic, but it was also transformative. It laid the foundation for a modern, centralized state, one that would shape the course of French history for centuries to come. Napoleon was not just a political leader, he was also a military genius. His military campaigns and strategies are legendary, marking an era of warfare that came to be known as the Napoleonic Wars. Napoleon's military acumen was first put to the test during the Italian campaign, where he used his innovative tactics and charismatic leadership to defeat the Austrian and Sardinian forces. He was just 26 years old. This victory not only showcased his military prowess, but also established his reputation as a formidable leader. The Battle of Austerlitz, also known as the Battle of the Three Emperors, is often cited as Napoleon's greatest victory. Here he faced a combined force of Austrian and Russian soldiers. Despite being outnumbered, Napoleon displayed extraordinary tactical skill, turning the numerical disadvantage into an advantage. The battle ended in a decisive victory for the French, and it cemented Napoleon's status as one of the greatest military tacticians in history. However, even the greatest of leaders faced defeat. The Battle of Waterloo is synonymous with Napoleon's downfall. Facing the Allied forces under the command of the Duke of Wellington and Field Marshal Blücher, Napoleon's strategies fell short. Despite a hard-fought battle, the French army was defeated, marking the end of Napoleon's reign as the French emperor. Napoleon's military strategies were characterized by rapid, concentrated attacks aimed at disrupting the enemy's decision-making process, a tactic known as the central position. He was also known for his use of artillery, which he employed not as a supporting arm, but as a key component of his offensive strategies. Despite his eventual defeat, Napoleon's military tactics continue to be studied and admired. They revolutionized warfare during his time and laid the foundation for modern military strategies. In the grand theater of war, Napoleon Bonaparte stands as a testament to the power of strategic thinking, resilience, and audacity. His legacy continues to inspire and instruct the military minds of today. Even the greatest of empires can fall. This is the harsh reality that Napoleon Bonaparte, once the ruler of a formidable empire, had to grapple with. His downfall, much like his rise, is a tale filled with intrigue and drama, a testament to the capricious nature of power. In the early 19th century, Napoleon, in his relentless pursuit of expansion, embarked on a disastrous campaign against Russia. The harsh winter, coupled with the Russian strategy of scorched earth, led to a catastrophic loss for the French forces. Out of the more than 500,000 soldiers who marched into Russia, a scant few returned home. This marked the beginning of the end for Napoleon. His subsequent losses in the War of the Sixth Coalition led to his abdication in April of 1814. Napoleon was exiled to the Mediterranean island of Elba, a far cry from the grandeur of the French court, but the indomitable spirit of Napoleon refused to be caged. Less than a year later, he escaped from Elba and returned to power in France, only to be defeated again at the Battle of Waterloo. This time, there was no escape. Napoleon was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. His dreams of empire, once so vivid and tangible, had crumbled into dust. The man who had held Europe in his grasp was now a prisoner, confined to a tiny island thousands of miles away from his homeland. In 1821, Napoleon died in exile, a lonely and defeated man. But his story was far from over. Even in death, Napoleon remained an enigma, a symbol of ambition and hubris, of success and failure. His life serves as a stark reminder of the fleeting nature of power, and the indomitable spirit of those who dare to reach for it. His downfall and exile marked the end of an era, but the legend of Napoleon Bonaparte lives on. In 1821, Napoleon died in exile, but his story was far from over. Napoleon Bonaparte, the Corsican artillery officer turned emperor, left an indelible mark on the world. Without a doubt, Napoleon's influence stretched far beyond the battlefields. His innovative military strategies revolutionized warfare and continue to be studied in military academies around the globe. He was a master of the battlefield, employing a combination of speed, deception, and concentrated force to crush his enemies, a style that would later be termed as the Napoleonic warfare. His strategies were not just about winning battles, but also about understanding the psychological impact of warfare. He knew that the quickest way to victory was to destroy the enemy's will to fight. But Napoleon's legacy is not confined to military tactics. His administrative and legal reforms had a profound and lasting effect on many nations. The Napoleonic Code, or the Civil Code of the French, was one of his most enduring legal achievements. The code, which emphasized equality before the law and the protection of civil liberties, became the foundation for many civil law jurisdictions worldwide. It was a radical departure from the old feudal and royal laws promoting principles such as freedom of religion and the abolition of serfdom. Napoleon also left his mark on governance. He centralized power and streamlined the bureaucracy, creating a model that many governments have since emulated. He believed in meritocracy and promoted individuals based on their competence and skills, rather than their birth or social status. This approach fostered a sense of loyalty and dedication among his officials, which greatly contributed to the efficiency and effectiveness of his rule. Beyond governance and law, Napoleon played a significant role in the spread of nationalism throughout Europe. His conquests and reforms ignited a sense of national identity among the conquered peoples. His actions led to the rise of national consciousness and the desire for self-determination, sparking revolutions and movements that would forever alter the political landscape of Europe. Napoleon's impact on the arts cannot be overlooked either. His reign, known as the Napoleonic era, was a time of great cultural and artistic flowering. His patronage and encouragement led to a surge in the production of literature, music, and visual arts, with themes often centered around heroism, romanticism, and national pride. Napoleon's influence can be seen in many aspects of modern society, from our legal systems to our understanding of nationhood, from our military strategies to our cultural expressions. His legacy is a complex tapestry woven from threads of ambition, innovation, reform, and controversy. Napoleon Bonaparte, a figure of ambition, brilliance, and controversy, continues to captivate and divide historians and enthusiasts alike. The life of Napoleon Bonaparte is a testament to the power of ambition and the will to shape one's destiny. This man, born on a small island in the Mediterranean, rose to become the Emperor of the French, a leader whose influence spanned the globe. His life journey was one of extraordinary triumphs and devastating failures, a roller coaster of power, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Napoleon's early life in Corsica, far removed from the centers of power, was a crucible that forged his character. His relentless ambition, his thirst for knowledge, and his innate military genius were all honed during these formative years. His rise to power was meteoric. Within a span of a few years, he went from being an obscure artillery officer to the ruler of France. His military campaigns across Europe, from the sands of Egypt to the snowy plains of Russia, reshaped the continent and brought him fame, glory, and a vast empire. But Napoleon was not just a conqueror. He was a visionary leader who implemented widespread reforms in law, administration, education, and the arts. His Napoleonic Code forms the basis of the civil law systems in many countries even today. However, his insatiable ambition also led to his downfall. His disastrous invasion of Russia and the final defeat at Waterloo marked the end of his reign. Exiled and defeated, Napoleon spent his last days on the remote island of St. Helena. Yet, even in defeat, he remained an indomitable spirit, a man who had dared to reach for the stars. In the grand tapestry of history, Napoleon Bonaparte looms large. His achievements, his failures, his vision, and his legacy continue to resonate today. His life is a testament to the extraordinary possibilities of human ambition and the profound perils of power. In the annals of history, Napoleon Bonaparte stands as a titan, a testament to the extraordinary possibilities and profound perils of power.